Innovate today. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to welcome Ziggy Dayz, our special guest for the day. In today's information age, he has spent years developing a holistic system that assists us to navigate through the very chaos of today's life, integrating many systems from mathematics systems to music systems to political systems to health systems. I would say that this integration has been developed into a modern day app. Is that right, Ziggy?
More of a collection of apps.
Okay, collection of apps.
A network.
All right, so we're going to find out a little bit more about Ziggy. He comes from a company called Renaissance Scene, where he's an actor, a writer, a producer, a mathematician, a holistic healer. He's like an Einstein with numbers, and he's developed this progressive system for the future. As you know, in today's age, it's a very dysfunctional, chaotic, insecure time for all of us due to what's going on. So hopefully there's some tech companies out there that would appreciate what he's got to offer for us today. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Ziggy.
Okay. Well, my roots go back to the theater and visual arts, so I've always been a very visual person. And in that time, I have...
Bit of technology for us today.
Exactly. So...
noise pollution.
Technology was something that came to me at a later time.
Okay.
So my roots are in the arts and also mathematics, geometry. So in a way where certain people are spokes of the wheel. So they specialize in individual things, and that's their, focus, which is great. And then other people are like, they're the hubs, they're the pies. They do the multiple things and connect the pieces together. It's not that one is better than the other, because they both have their importance and all part of the same system, same oneness. So for me, I just happen to be the wheel wearing multiple hats.
Okay, so you developed this system. Initially it was called the Music Matrix. What was your intention for the system?
Initially, how it first started out was just understanding. So then I moved and said, okay, well, this might make a good website. Then after collecting enough pieces and the introduction of apps, I realized, okay, well, it could, apps is going to be the form that it's going to take.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. And in terms of letting people understand how you're going to tie all the threads together, can you share with them a little bit about the 9 intelligences?
Okay. So there was I believe a psychologist or a doctor named Howard Gardner, and he was, I would say, probably best observed our human natures through our different approaches on learning.
Okay.
So in that, he categorized 8 and later moved it on to 9th intelligence, which is almost like the holistic or moral, as he called it, that tied the others together.
Okay.
And in that, it's different people learn different ways. So our current music system teaches by maybe sound intelligence or this kind of more learned, logical approach, but there's the dancer, there's a nature lover that learns through the order of nature growing, how do plants grow, how do systems move. There's a mathematician where they know numbers and they know logic, and that is their leading strength. And so these different intelligence move into one another. So that mathematician, the numbers and the logic, that moves into geometry and spatial, meaning visual, shapes and colors.
So you can develop art as well with that. So
you can.
So resonant sounds and different forms of geometry, one can turn into art, or they can turn it into the flow of a dance. there's resonant sounds, and off those resonant sounds there's healing of our molecules. So this all ties into holistic living.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you explain to our audience today how this evolved and where you see it going?
Okay. So everything in this world is clinging to some kind of system, whether it's within their daily life, finding a system that they can operate by to get things done,
Like
whether
gives
it's
us
a
order.
government
Okay.
seeking a system to keep either control of people or people moving, or large sectors of the population moving and all that. So everything is systems. There's musical systems, there's ecological systems, ecosystems.
Mhm.
And in the future, we are moving to better understand these systems as a method of order. We are engulfed in chaos. We're bombarded by random things coming at us. And what we need to find is the order and the efficiency
Within the chaos.
within the chaos.
Okay.
That
makes sense. Okay, so how do you plan to bring this to the people?
It's a series of steps. So there's different acts and there's different phases, and each one is like a domino. So it's like, okay, beginning with the musical technology, because the music, in a way, you can hear it and know it's true. It has distinct patterns that are non-subjective. They're mathematical, they're geometric. People can see them and say, yes, that's true. So we begin with that, and then we eventually move into the information architecture. How do words connect? How do shapes? And so we begin this process where one thing leads to the next. How does one piece connect to the other? So everything that I'm doing is moving towards a final destination that isn't isolated just music. It goes into energy, it goes into life, it goes into architecture. It goes to how communities connect.
Okay, so this particular app, you have the blueprint for the apps, correct? So the blueprint for the apps, for someone to actually develop it, how would it be user-friendly? How would one use these apps?
So essentially there's going to be different segments. So depending on what that person's interest is. So someone that has an interest in rhythm would begin to understand, quantified patterns of rhythm. How do these rhythm patterns connect? Someone that's interested in say, chords or harmonies. How do the notes within us? So what you have is you have the boundaries, the edges of these, where suddenly one thing shifts into another thing through common patterns.
Okay.
So a musical system could shift into a holistic system. Let's say the I Ching could shift into the I Ching through a common pattern that they have.
Okay.
So it applies to many things, not just that.
So if I bought a phone today with that particular one of your first apps, what would I be looking for if I wanted to, say, manage my life at home in terms of my work, my time out to do my meditation and my yoga, family time? How would I incorporate that balance so that I have less chaos in my life and I have more order in my life? How would these apps help me?
Well, initially when it does bridge over where, let's say you have a system of the 12 notes of music, which is a Western style. Other styles use maybe 24, so there's no rule, but let's say in our life, all these different things like going to the gym and exercising, taking care of your health, or meeting people, socializing, they all are pieces. So in that, it's an observation of what are these pieces, which pieces connect together, like what are similar ones. Okay, so exercising is a neighbor to eating nutritionally. So they form a structure, how they connect. So there's an order, and it's realizing this order. So the music will form its own order. What do you get when you take multiple pieces? Oh, you get this type of chord, or you get this type of harmony, and the same is true with life. What happens if you take that and that? What happens if you take the entertainment or creative side of you and mix it with a social side of you?
Okay. So what I'm saying is, how as an individual do I use this app to assist me to have more time and less chaos? How does it work for me? Let's say I had the app here and I wanted to say, okay, today I need to do X, Y, and Z, and it's manageable. How would it work?
It's a more difficult question because there's many pieces, and to narrow it down, I mean, we could go even into talking about having a database. So we're going now into some of the external systems of having a database of the things that you need. Maybe you have communities that can help you out. So if you're a mother, you say, oh, okay, you start socializing with other communities, and suddenly, okay, well, through the system, you might find another mother that has kids to take care of. So there's so many variables that it's a little difficult to pinpoint just one aspect.
So would it be like a virtual reality or an augmented reality? How would that work?
I mean, sure. I mean, you have aspects of that. It's kind of all encompassing.
It's all together. Okay.
It depends on like what stage of development it's at.
Okay. All right. So if you're talking to a technology firm today, what would you like to say to them about how you would want to join forces with them and evolve with them with this particular concept that you have?
I would say the key is that everything is moving toward technology. People are seeking technology to order their life.
Digital age, information age.
And right now it's like there's so much technology out there that you have pieces everywhere. You create through the new development of technology to create order. You're also creating more chaos at the same time by having such a saturation of them. Now, there isn't a system of order right now that will take all these pieces
and tie them together
and find out how they relate. How do they connect? And in that system where you can have all these pieces working together, where each individual piece has its own uniqueness that isn't necessarily in competition with, this other piece over there, even though there's a commonality. So to the technology companies, I would say that we are moving into the future, and the future is moving into greater order, and we need a system that can do
and you have
that.
the answer for that, right? Exactly. So Ziggy Dayz today, everybody. Anyone that's interested in contacting Ziggy, this is his email address and his telephone number. Would you like to close with anything to the audience?
I appreciate your time in being here and hearing me out, and I would like to welcome you to a vision for moving forward in this world and trying to solve the problems, and I hope that you will also share it.
So you, in essence, are saying to navigate our way through the chaos in today's bombarded technology age.
Yes.
Right? A simplistic method that he's designed. So thank you for being a guest on our show today.